Hello everybody, how is it going? So, more 3v3, going over the teams real quick. Sakazuki, Purple Luffy, Red Purple Luffy, versus Enel, Sakazuki, and Purple Luffy. Yeah, exactly 10 seconds, let's go. Sakazuki's hand, Rebecca, Kuzan, the Reduce spell, brand new, Sabo. Okay, got through that quick. I wasn't sure how long they were going to show it. But yeah, it's Sakazuki against Enel. We'll probably see Enel's hand right here. He has the Rest and Plus Attack spell, Thunderbolt, the Dog, Gedatsu, and Enel. Looks like he has alt arts. Very, very cool. Hopefully the whole deck is alt arts. But yeah, I'm not really sure how this matchup usually goes. I feel like Sakazuki, like 9 drops aren't that hard for him to deal with. It's like 10 drops where it's like usually a couple cards out of hand, like maybe 1 or 2 plus the removal. But 9 drops, I feel like they get answered pretty easily. So it might be a bit harder for Enel. The game is probably going to be a very long time. I know it's a very long time, just because of how Enel works and Sakazuki kind of being a slower deck, mainly just focusing on removing your opponent's stuff. But hopping into it, let's see who's going first. I imagine Sakazuki wants to go second. Enel is probably okay with either. Maybe wants to go second more, not sure. But yep, Enel is forced to go first. I imagine forced to go first, and just passes turn 1. Sakazuki will play down his brand new, look at top 3. Sees a Zeph, a Monshari, and a Kuzan. Grabs the Kuzan, and yep, just passes it back most likely. Enel's probably just going to play the Dog, or just attack for a lot, either one. I imagine you want to get down the Dog, but if your opponent does have the 4-drop Lucci, it does just get popped. But no, plays the Dog anyway, and chooses not to attack, which is smart because of Gedatsu. You want to, this is going to be their 4-down turn. If they play a 4-drop on curve, it's just going to get hit by the Gedatsu, and you're feeling pretty good as the Enel player. Sakazuki attacking for 5. Enel, again, usually takes his first 3 life pretty freely. Gets a, looks like that's 9-drop Yamato, and then Sakazuki will play down the 4-drop Kuzan, drawing 1. Let's see what he grabbed. Grabs the, I think that's Hina, I'm pretty sure. And uses leader to discard a Sabo, and picks up a Barto. Alright, not bad. It's a 2k, and a little blocker if we need it. Going back to Enel's turn, no doubt he's just playing Gedatsu. Pops the Kuzan. And I imagine he'll start swinging now, because, I don't think you're really going to try to starve out Sakazuki. Some of them do play the Pot of Greed spell, or Sanji's Pilaf. And chooses not to swing with Holy, which is fair. Wants to eat some more life hits before he has to worry about defending his board. I think that's pretty smart. Also, Sakazuki will probably be able to answer these bodies pretty easily. I don't see a Rob Lucci in his hand right now, but he can always cycle. Has a lot of, I think, like 2 more 4-drop Kuzans, it looks like. His hand is a little bit clumped, so not the easiest to see. Looks like Enel picked up a Katakuri for turn, which is cool. It's good. Sakazuki swinging 5, reducing the Dog, I assume, by 1. Enel potentially getting a trigger here. Yep, gets the Sky Island 2k. That also just plays itself. Can't think of the name. Discarding the Thunderbolt for that trigger. Sakazuki is on 6 Dawn. I don't think they have like a 6 Dawn curve, like card that you want to play on 6 Dawn. So he'll probably just end up playing like the Kuzan and maybe swinging for 5 with the brand new if he wants. Okay, uses leader, discards a Kuzan, picks up another, I think it's like Meteor Volcano, I think. I'm not sure. I just know it's like, it pretty much, you play it, it reduces something by like 2, and then you draw 1, which is pretty good. So yeah, taps 1, looks like he is going to use the Meteor Volcano. The Dog is already reduced, I believe, so probably going after the Gedatsu. Yep. Plays another Meteor Volcano. Did he grab another Kuzan off the first one? Looks like he gets another Hina off this one. And he did have a Rob Lucci, so yeah, that cleans up a lot of the board. That card is so good. So good. So yeah, putting back both the Meteor Volcanoes and the Moncherry. Passing it back to Enel, who is now on 7 Dawn. Probably just going to immediately play down the 7-drop Enel, because it's one of the few cards that Sakazuki can't just answer for free. Do have to sack your life to keep him there, but it's probably worth to just keep an attacker on the board. Enel just going 5 at life. Does Sakazuki drop down to 2? I feel like most of like the multicolored decks, if they're strong, can pretty easily drop down to 2 life and then worry about defending your life, but yeah, eats the 5, now he has to deal with the 7. Okay, he's gonna go down to 1. Alright, I respect that. And he's still not gonna swing with his 5k on the board. Again, I guess just wants to save it for a turn where he can apply actual pressure. Also, doesn't want to drop cards to defend, which is fair. Sakazuki using leader, getting rid of, I think that's the last Kuzan. Couldn't really see what he picked up. His hand is huge right now. I think it's a Suru. He's like, I think 11 cards in hand. I'm just trying to count real quick. 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, 11 cards in hand. Kinda crazy, but to be fair, he has taken, I think, just his first 3 life pretty easily. And, hasn't played any cards to, necessarily... Well, I think all the cards he's played replace themselves, because he's played Brand New, a Kuzan, he's played 2 Meteor Volcanoes. I think the only card he's played that hasn't replaced itself has been the Rob Lucci. So yeah, he has a lot of cards. We're randomly highlighting Beji. I think I assume that's what Enel picked up off life. Can't see his hand right now. This is Sakazuki's 8 Dawn turn. Normally it's like Borsalino, but I think this is a build that isn't running much top end. It's more just like low to the ground stuff with like a lot of utility, revolving a lot around like the Rob Lucci and I think it's like something like Hound's Blaze or something like that. The 2 cost that spell the bottom deck stuff and then gives 3k attack. So he's definitely thinking here. Okay, no, so he did have one more Kuzan in hand, but I assume that he has went through all of them. It's looking like that's what he wants to play. Yep, plays it down. Gets to draw one. Let's see what he gets. Gets a Kobe. So the Kobe could be used to pop something this turn. Nope, looking like he just wants to get down a blocker, which is fair. You are at 1 life now. So yeah, he's going to play down Rebecca, get to add back the Sabo, and then he can play something for free if he wants to. Plays down the Hina, reducing something, and then just passing. So now you definitely want to apply as much pressure as possible as the Enel. I would imagine this is a turn where they only have 1 blocker up. They do have plenty of cards in hand, but I don't know. Do you just try to swing big here and not play down the 9-drop and just hope that you can survive next turn? Enel doesn't have a ton of cards in hand, so it might not be the play. It might just be play Yamato, heal 1, attack for like 7, 5, maybe attack with your other 5k body as well. Yeah, his hand looks like it has very little counter, so he seems kind of locked into this Yamato, which I think is reasonable. But how he's mapping his Dawn, he might not choose to do that. Might just choose to go to 1 life or 0 life next turn, and then play the Yamato. Gonna swing 7, I assume at life, maybe goes after the Hina, but I kind of doubt it. Sakazuki thinking about it. I doubt he'll give up his blocker on the first swing. Okay, he does. I guess just expecting his opponent to play the top end this turn. And yeah, I assume his opponent knows realistically that he can't go for game. Sakazuki just has too many cards in hand. So yeah, he's gonna play the Yamato, pop the Brand New, heal a life, swing for 5 with leader. Just try to chip down his hand a little bit. It doesn't really look like his hand's gonna budge though. Has so many. Discards the Toshigi to get out of that. Still probably not gonna swing with the other 5k. But Sakazuki can almost definitely answer this Yamato this turn. Has the 4-drop Kuzan already set up. And I believe he has removal. I think he still has the Kobe at least, if he needs to go with that. Also, I believe he has Ice Age, which does, I think, just immediately put it at 4, and then the Kuzan swing would put it at 0, and then it's gone. Plays down, okay, he had a Meteor Volcano. I hope that's the name, because that's just what I keep calling it. Picks up another Toshigi, I assume reducing the Yamato. Maybe thinking about it for a sec. The Enel, the 7-drop Enel will likely stick. You could go after the 5k body, but like, why would you? Yeah, it goes for the Yamato. So it is now at 7 cost. Kuzan swing would put it at a 3 cost. And then Kobe can pop it. So yep, going 5 at life, reducing the Yamato again. I imagine Enel might defend this. No, he's gonna take it. Does not get a trigger, but does get another 9-drop Yamato, so can probably live another turn. Sakazuki just thinking about, I guess, how he wants to go about this turn. I don't think he has a Hound's Blaze. I think it's just that Kobe. Unless there's like a Rablucci in there that I'm just not seeing. Which is possible. Oh, hey, zoom in. See, it looks like... Oh, it's gone already. Come on. Alright, yeah. I assume it's just the Kobe that's going to end up popping the Yamato. But Hina going in for 5. I mean, you can just like 1k out of this, and the next 2 hits you can just eat if you really want to. And then 9-drop Yamato will put you back at the 1 life. So yeah, it does counter out of that with the promo Zoro. I believe it's promo. But it has a pretty solid trigger of just KOing a 4 cost. So definitely a good card. Sakazuki still has 9 Dawn to work with. So I mean, if he wants to, he could commit some Dawn to these attacks. Just to maybe put Enel in a bit of a worse spot. Or he could choose to just not attack at all, because he knows he can't kill him this turn. And just not have to defend his characters. Goes 5 with leader. Okay. Reducing the, I guess the 2k counter there. Enel eats that, gets a dog. Heals 1. Probably gonna get rid of that Katakuri, because he has the Yamato. Yeah. Alright, so will Sakazuki try to take this last life here using the Rablucci? Alternatively, he can just Kobe, pop the Yamato, play down like a blocker. I think he has Sabo, and just kind of wall up. I think it's probably worth dedicating at least 1 Dawn to the Rablucci, just to make him drop 2 cards if he doesn't want to go to 0. But no, just goes 6. Alright. Enel takes it anyway. Fair enough. Picks up another Katakuri. Sakazuki playing down the Manchuri, tapping 1, tapping her. I believe she shuffles back 2, and then adds 1 back. Something like that. Shuffles back Zeph and a Meteor Volcano. Grabs back the Rebecca blocker. So then he has 7 Dawn remaining, so he can play both the Rebecca blocker and the Kobe to get rid of the Yamato. Plays down Rebecca, adds back the Toshigi. Can play something. Oh, okay, just plays the Kobe off of it. That's cool, I like that. Replacing the Manchuri, popping the Yamato. Still has 3 Dawn to work with. Could play the Barto that we know he has, just for some more blockers. Uses leader, discards a Hina. Picks up a Zeph. Alright, and just passes there. Decides, nah, I'll be fine. 1 blocker. It's all good. He still has so many cards in hand, so yeah, I kind of agree with that logic. Save the blocker for when you might need it. If not, Barto is just a 2k in hand, which is also very good. And I do believe Enel is kind of forced into playing another 9-drop here just to try to survive, because you have to try to kill him if you don't play the Yamato, which seems pretty hard when he has 8 cards in hand, a blocker, and 1 life. There might be math to do it, but I don't see it happening. He does have like the 2 million volts or whatever it's called, 2 billion volts, I don't know, which taps I think at 3 cost or less though. So is it 3 cost or is it 4? I can't read Japanese, so I can't tell you. But if it rested a 4 cost or less, I feel like Enel just goes for game here. Because are you really going to win out in this grind game? I don't even know like the last time Sakazuki's kind of went minus by playing a card. I feel like all his cards have replaced themselves or got him back something. So, just goes 9 at life. Okay. Alright, so he's playing the Yamato. Which, I mean, it's okay. But I feel like with that card that taps 1 and gives you +3, if it rests that Rebecca, it might not. But if it did, I think you definitely go for game. And just say, I mean, he's locked into it. Because what does playing this Yamato actually do here, right? Buys him maybe another turn. But it'll probably get answered again. This, the 5k will also probably get answered. Enel might stick around, but also might not. So yeah, plays down the Yamato, heals a life. Let's see. Sakazuki still has 4 attacks, but he's probably still going to continue to play it slow. Probably look for some blockers just to continue living. Picks up a Hound's Blaze, which is pretty solid, because I don't know if he had any other removal in his hand at the time. Still has that Ice Age, I believe that's Ice Age, on the left there. So that immediately just puts Yamato to 4, then his leader puts her to 3. And then I think Hound's Blaze hits a 3 cost. It might be 2 though. Either way, he definitely has a way to get rid of this Yamato. That might honestly have been a throw. NL not going for game there. But we'll see, I guess. Oh yeah, he also has Kuzan on the board. I forgot that stuck around. Yep, swings 5 at NL, reducing the Yamato by 4. NL dropping the dog to counter out. Does have 1 up, and I think he does have the L Thor. At least I think he does. Not sure. Sakazuki using leader, getting rid of the Zeph. Drawing. What's he get? Move your hand. Gets another Suru. Alright. More defense is never a bad thing. And I think Moncherie can fetch back the Rebecca if he wants to continue playing defensive, which he definitely has to, right? Attacks for another 5. Yep, gets rid of the 5k body. If I knew his name, I'd call him that, but my bad, I don't. So once again, NL does live this turn because he still has 1 life, and both these hits from leader and Lucci will just kind of be dealt with. NL thinking about countering this. I think it's fair to counter this, but ends up taking it. Probably has a trigger there if he's thinking about it. Does have a 3rd Yamato in hand. Triggers the, once again, the 2k, 5k stat line. You know, that guy. He looks like a bubble. And then heals off leader effect. Discarding, yeah, almost forgot to discard for leader. Discards to Zoro. Sakazuki playing down Ice Age, going for the Yamato. So now, what cost is it? It's 0 cost, okay, so like anything deals with it. Uses the Hound's Blaze. Bottom decks the Yamato. And, I think the only thing he can boost is the Lucci, so why wouldn't... Alright, he can boost anything, technically, but Lucci is the only one active. So yeah, gonna boost that up to, I believe, 9. he still has how much Dawn to work with? I think still 7. So he does have the Moncherie, which I think can add back Rebecca. And I don't know, he might have discarded the Sabo. I don't remember. I can't see the Sabo in hand right now. Oh wait, no, it's there. So he can play like the Sabo instead of like using the Moncherie to get the Rebecca. Kind of his choice. Looks like he's swinging 9 at the 7-drop Enel. Which is like, that's a rough spot, right? Because like you can save it by just trashing that life, but then you kind of went -1. Could have potentially been a trigger, which could have been impactful. Or you can, no, I don't even think, yeah, he can't even counter out of this. So it's either trash that life or let the Enel go. Kind of an unfortunate spot. But he trashes that life. It was a trigger, but I don't know how impactful it would have been. It would have just been a search. Sakazuki finally down to, I think, a manageable amount of cards in hand. Only 6 in hand right now. He's going to play down the Moncherie, tap 1 Dawn and herself to use her effect. Puts back the Ice Age and the Hound's Blaze. And I assume adding back that Rebecca. Yep. Likely going to play down that Rebecca. And Rebecca could always grab back a 2k counter. Yep, grabs the Tashigi. And I imagine he will not be summoning anything off that. Yep, it just passes. Rebecca is such a good card, so is Moncherie. Just the engines in this deck work so well. Like, you get to keep so much like hand advantage, you get to be very productive. It's looking like a very strong deck. I think Enel grabbed the dog off of his top deck. Once again, kind of locked into playing Yamato. At this point, I'm just gonna assume that the 2 billion volts cannot rest the Rebecca. Because that would make the most sense, right? Because if not, that's just the obvious play. Separating 3 Dawn, another 4. Maybe trying to see if game is possible. I don't know, it's definitely very hard. And we know from our perspective, Sakazuki has like, I think 5 2k counters. Or 6. I can't quite tell what that card in the middle is. Oh, it's the Sabo. Okay. So yeah, he has 5 2k counters and a 1k. So he would very likely live this with the blocker and that much counter in hand. Enel thinking about it. But yeah, he has what? A 9-drop. He has a Beji in hand. He has the dog. Has the rest spell. And has, I think, no, it's not Katakuri. What's the other card? Oh, the Sky Island Searcher. Yeah, it's like, what does the Sky Island Searcher really even find you? Nothing that's really going to help. The dog is, yeah, there's no point in playing that at this point. It's like Yamato, or just like try to go for game. Those are your 2 options, I think. Looks like he's just going to attack for 7 with the Enel. It's going to immediately eat a block. Goes 5 with leader. So yep, we're playing Yamato once again. How long can she keep us alive? Sakazuki using a 2k to get out of that. Probably going to use another one because he wants to keep the Sabo for the blocker. Surprised that Enel didn't just dedicate a swing to the Moncherie, because that is going to be another free card next turn. That free card will probably be the Rebecca. Oh, he can pop it. Yep, that's right. Makes sense, makes sense. I'm stupid. So yeah, gets a little bit of extra value off the Yamato. So that is definitely nice for him. Only has 4 cards in hand though, but technically has 2 life with his leader effect. And they could always be triggers. So he can, like, that's the annoying thing about Enel. It's like, it looks like you can go for lethal this turn, but then you just can't. Very tough to deal with. Sakazuki picking up a brand new. I imagine this turn we're just walling up. He can try to find an answer for this Yamato. Just needs something, just needs any form of removal. Guess he should be able to get Yamato in range pretty easily. So maybe he could play down the Sabo, gets to cycle 2 cards, see what he finds. He himself could also try to go for game, but that might be a throw. I don't know. Uses leader, cycles the brand new 4. A Rebecca. Okay, so he can be very, very defensive this turn and just swing baseline with all of his characters and wall up. Goes 7 with the Rob Lucci. Enel can counter out of this. You might just eat that though. You might not eat that actually. That's kind of scary. Because Sakazuki can just go for game. But he is baiting the 1 Don up. We know that he doesn't actually have the Elthor, but his opponent is probably assuming he does, which makes sense. So he'll counter out with the Beji and the Holy, or the Dog, whatever you want to call it. See, I imagine, once again, Sakazuki's just gonna keep poking, establish more defense. Eventually Enel will run out of Yamatos. Sadly, it does not look like this turn Sakazuki will be able to answer the Yamato, so it does get a bit scary, I'm not gonna lie. But we're gonna have to see. Doesn't have any removal currently in hand. The Sabo can definitely find some removal, so we're just gonna have to see how it plays out. Sakazuki poking for another 5k, but actually goes at the Sky Island guy, and Enel lets it go. Still 2 more swings that could come in. Gonna swing. Probably just gonna keep poking. Goes 5, reduces the Enel. Okay. I guess the Rebecca could grab back the Kobe, which I think is still there, and pop that. That works too. Or, I don't know, can she add back Rob Lucci? If she can, that could work too. Yo, wait, hold up. Enel actually played around himself, drawing the Elthor off of life. So now, that's pretty good. Having that extra bit of defense. Yeah, discards the, I think it's like Shira is the searcher's name. The Sky Island searcher. For his leader effect. Sakazuki could once again try to put Enel at 0. If he has the 4th Yamato, that's just funny. But he is dwindling on cards. Especially if he counters out of this hit, but he probably won't. And just try to go for game. We're almost at time already. I didn't even realize. Yeah, as expected, this game is taking a very long time. It's just, not that Enel is necessarily a slow deck, it's just he can live like forever, and Sakazuki is a slow deck, or slower deck. So, yeah, it was inevitable, right, for this game to go to time. I think it will go to time. Sakazuki checking Enel's graveyard, maybe trying to see how much, like, top end he's went through, how many 2Ks. Yeah, Sakazuki has only used 1 Dawn this whole turn, so he can go like Rebecca Sabo and just wall up like crazy. Unless he plans on popping the 7-drop Enel with something from the graveyard from his Rebecca add back. Not quite sure what he has in there. But it looks like Rebecca is definitely the play. Grabbing 4 Dawn. Throwing her down. Almost adding back before playing her. That's funny. Grabs back the Kobe. Okay, so he's gonna use the Kobe to go with the 7-drop Enel. Which, I mean, let's see. Sakazuki has 5 Dawn left. If Enel trashes this life, he's just dead. If Sakazuki goes for it. So yeah, he lets the 7-drop go. And looks like we're going to use those last 5 Dawn to play the Sabo and just kind of secure that we live next turn. Just going to swing 5 at life. If you're Enel, you might as well take this, right? Oh no, he uses the Elthor. Alright. Hopefully, or just trying to live another turn. Fair enough, fair enough. It's definitely possible, quite honestly. Yeah, he might only have 1 card in hand, but triggers are a thing. What if he just hits 2 Veggies off life, and then he just lives? The Sabo cycling some. Looks like he found a Hound's Blaze and discarded a Suru. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I think he discarded a Suru, and then definitely discarded the Ice Age. Enel picking up another Elthor for turn. It's looking rough, it's looking rough. Yeah, I mean, he can definitely try to play it out here, but Sakazuki lives his turn 100%. And then he's going to be left with the Elthor in hand, and whatever he finds off of his 2 life to try to defend. Which, I mean, is fair. Yep, they did just go into time. The judge, I assume, letting them know. They also have been thinking a lot, which, I mean, is fair. I mean, both of them are in kind of rough spots. I don't know. I think Sakazuki's kind of been mostly fine, but against most other decks, they probably would have lost by now. But because of Enel just being able to stay in so long, he saw 3 Yamatos, so he, was able to sustain for much longer than probably anticipated. But maybe not. Maybe you should just expect Enel to see a good amount of Yamatos. They also do play, the 8-drop Katakuri, but it's a bit harder because they need to actually have another card on field to heal that life, which isn't always the case, especially against Sakazuki. You might have something you don't want to put in life, but you might have to. But swinging 10 at life, it's just going to get blocked with the Rebecca. And then, yeah, what do you do at this point? Just swing another 10. Hopefully he just blocks with the Sabo. That's like the best case scenario. But he'll probably just take this. Oh no, actually clears the Rob Lucci. Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. Guarantee you clear a body. That makes more sense. Sakazuki picking up. Let's see. Another Rob Lucci. But it doesn't really matter at this point. He has 2 cards in hand. I don't know, maybe it kind of does. Because, ideally you'd want to check him with 5s to get him to use those 2 cards. And then, but he'd just live. Because the next, he has 4 swings total. If you check him twice, and he has counter for both, he does just live. So, yeah, kind of hard. Yeah, it's going to go with 7s. That's probably the right idea. Because if that isn't an Elthor, then both those cards are gone. If not, he takes the life. We know that he does have the Elthor, but that is probably the answer. Just go, not baseline, just swing 7s. And he can get out of 1 with the Elthor. Can't get out of the second one. Maybe he can get out of the third, depending on, again, what's in life. So yep, goes 7 with Kuzan, reducing the Yamato. Do you eat this first hit? You might. You might just eat that first hit to maybe get counter to replace the 2 billion volts, or whatever it's called. Yep, takes that life. Gets a Gadatsu. Okay, that's plus 1k more counter than he previously had. And I assume he's just gonna discard the volts. No, gets rid of the Gadatsu. Can you actually use the volts on their turn? Am I missing something? I might be missing something. That's my bad. I need to read the card clearly. Because if he can, then I think it gives a character plus 3. So he actually has 7k worth of counter, if that is the case. Goes 7 again at life. Yep, it's going to be met with the Elthor. It's going to go... Still has how much Dawn? 1, 2, he has 6 Dawn left. can go like 8, 10. I don't know if that's the best number. You probably just go like 7 here if it's an L Thor. He lives. Then you just keep your Sabo up. Probably try to out the Yamato. Thinking about it. Yep, goes 7. Enel takes that. Finds the Veggie. That is Veggie, right? I believe it is. Yup, finds the Veggie. Stops the Sabo. And keeps his 3,000 or 2 billion volts in hand. But Sakazuki's going to play down that Suru. Reduce the Yamato. He's going to tap 2. And then Hounds Blaze the Yamato. And I mean, yeah, now Sakazuki just guaranteed lives anyway. Unless, like, NL finds, like, a rush character. And even then, it really just doesn't make a difference. Top decks to Veggie. I imagine he'll just scoop it up here. It is time. I think this would be his last turn anyway. Yeah, he scoops it up. That was a very long match. But, yeah, it was interesting. Enel is like, I don't know, I feel like when you're going for game against him, it just never feels like the right time. So I mean, it's fair enough. Sakazuki played it well, was able to be very defensive while also clearing a lot of Enel's board. Deck is just so solid, so solid. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.